Hi. It's Friday. We are almost done with our week. Well, I guess technically we are because it's the weekend. Drop me down in the comments what you have planned for this weekend. My husband and I are going to go out and do some visiting with some of the people at our church, and then we're going to go over and have lunch with them, possibly play a board game or something. Hi, Rosio. What are you doing? Drop me down in the comments. What are you doing this weekend? Even if you don't think it's like super, super fun. Sometimes the very routine things can be things that we consider fun, and that's okay. I have been talking about in my time management group goal setting, specifically coming into New Year's Eve, because it is almost Thanksgiving, which means it's going to be Christmas super fast, right? Like they kind of just fly together. Then it's going to be New Year's Eve, and before you know it, we are going to be in 2020. Straight hair day. Julie, this is day 3. Like my hair is so dirty right now. But it's finally so healthy. I am loving the supplements that I've been using for my hair. No, it's not our weekly thing. This is just something I wanted to pop in. So anyways, drop me down a 1 if you've ever set New Year's goals and like 30 days later, you're not even working on them anymore. That might be an exaggeration. Sometimes it takes, 60 to 90 days for them to fizzle out, but I definitely have. I am a 1 all the way down in that. Like I have done that so many times. So I want to talk to you today about how to set quote unquote New Year's goals, but ones that you're actually going to stick with, because how many of us just don't stick with our goals? So first thing I want to say is I ran across a quote when I was doing my cleaning and like I was listening to self-development and absolutely loved it. I wrote it down because I know when I get on the video, like my brain kind of goes foggy. I don't know why. But it says that people will respect you when you keep your word to them. But in order for you to be successful and powerful and just a person of integrity, you have to keep your word to yourself. That hit me like a ton of bricks because so many times, and I'm better at this now, but I got really bad at this for a while. So many times I would keep my word to everybody else, but wasn't very good to myself. Julie, do you mind sharing this into both the team pages also, please? Just title it what I titled it if you don't mind. So this is something that I felt like, again, I've been talking about this in my time management group. I know a lot of you guys are in there, but some of you aren't. So I wanted to go live and tell you today how to do this because it's just something that has helped me tremendously. So 5 simple steps. These are going to help you make 2020 a very purpose-driven year. And I can tell you from experience, this is my 2nd year doing this, and I actually do this every 3 to 4 months. I don't just do it once a year because does your life look exactly like it did 3 months ago? Probably not, right? Let me know. Drop in the comments. Is your life exactly the same now as it was 3 months ago? Meaning nothing has changed. Finances haven't changed. Jobs haven't changed. No new kids. No new place to live. Your health hasn't changed at all. Like, is it exactly the same? Your schedule 3 months ago looks exactly like it does today. Probably not, right? So the first thing is you want to pick a word that you're going to focus on. Now, again, I do this in 90-day increments. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do this for January, February, and March. And then beginning of April, I'm going to redo this whole thing. I don't do it every month because it's just a lot of work. And I feel like 90 days is really a good chunk of time to focus on one thing. So yeah, our lives don't look the same, right? So I want you to pick one word that you're going to focus on for the next 90 days. Now, by the way, if you've never done this, you can do this today or tomorrow. You don't have to wait till January. Why not do it and then maybe reevaluate in March? Or do it for like a 4.5 month period, right? Don't wait until the first of the year to make your life better. So pick one word. Now, my word for last year was discipline. The year before that was consistency. I've not ever picked a word for a 3 month period. That's new to me. So if you can think of a word, and you can change it, right? Like this is a practice run. If you can think of a word that you can say, okay, this is something I should probably focus on for at least the next 90 days, drop it down in the comments. I want to see what your words are. Some people focus on love, patience, again, discipline and consistency were mine, empathy. I don't know. There's so many. Like, what would your word be? Let me know. So that's number one. Pick a word, focus on it for 90 days. Number two is going to be writing down, I'm going to give you 12 categories. You're literally just going to write these on a piece of paper. Now, what I usually do is I just write them. I just have a notebook. This is from Claire's, I think. This was like a splurgy notebook. Usually I get them from the dollar store. This one happened to be one that caught my eye. It was $10, which was pricey for me to buy a notebook, but I fell in love with it, so I wanted it. Sometimes I just buy things that I want because that's part of the reason I work the way that I work. So I can buy little things here and there. But I started a bullet journal last month. So for this new set that I'm going to do, I'm actually going to do it inside my bullet journal. So you're going to write down these 12 things. And you don't have to write them down right now, guys. I will post this and make sure that you guys can come back and watch it. So it'll be on my page for you. You're going to write down these categories: spiritual growth, business, or work, depending on what you do for work. And you don't have to write all 12 down. If one of these doesn't apply to you, don't write it. For example, I have wife and mom down here. If you're single with no kids, don't write those, right? So spiritual growth, business or work, personal development / learning, self-care, marriage, home, mom, friend, fun / recreation, finances, character, and health / fitness. So step one is picking a word to focus on it. Step two is writing down those 12 sections. And then what you're going to do for step three is you're going to go through and you're going to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. How well do you do in that area? For example, the area of home. For me, that means keeping my house clean. How well do I do in that area? Because I'm sure not a 10. But I would say now I'm probably an 8. When we got married, I was probably a 3. Not even going to lie to you. Like, I was not a good housekeeper. So, yes. I need to turn these comments off because I'm like getting sidetracked. So let's just use that as an example because every one of us live somewhere. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how good of a housekeeper are you? 1 meaning you can't see your floor and you can't see your floor and you usually don't have clean underwear, right? So pretty bad. 10 meaning you could eat off of your floors any given day. Okay, and there's no right or wrong answer, guys. Some of you are going to be much higher in some of these areas than I am. In some of these, I'm much higher than you are because we all have strengths and we all have weaknesses. So if you're a 1, proudly drop yourself a 1 down in that comment and decide that for the next 90 days, you're going to focus on bringing yourself up to a 3, right? Like you don't focus on going from a 1 to a 10, but you can focus on going from a 1 to a 3. So you're going to rate yourself 1 to 10, only a 3. Hey, so maybe your goal for the next 90 days is to bring yourself from a 3 to a 4 or a 3 to a 5. And by the way, guys, check my stories. Daily, I'm dropping housekeeping tips in there because they're things that I like systems. I don't like to do cleaning. So it's something that I definitely give little tips up there. When I find something that works for me, that makes my life easier, you better believe I'm going to share it because I get excited about it, right? Self-discipline. Yeah, that was... Last year, that was mine because I was the same way. My discipline was on a 1 to a 10. I was like a -5 in most areas. So, you know, it is what it is. We all have weaknesses. So, rating yourself, and then you're going to write down one thing that you're going to focus on in each category for the next 90 days. So, I'm going to tell you a couple of mine. I'm not going to tell you all 12 categories because that's going to take forever. But I'm going to tell you a couple of mine that I focused on for the last 90 days. So, spiritual growth, one thing that I really focused on was journaling. And that's something I got very consistent at. If you haven't watched one of my journaling videos, you'll have to hop on when we do live journaling sometimes. I'm not going to go all the way through it right now. But I would highly suggest journaling if you're looking to get closer to God. It is something that has just helped me tremendously with my walk with God. Self-care has been yoga. And again, if you watch my last video, yoga, when I say yoga, I literally mean guided stretching. So there's nothing funky going on. It literally is just exercise. But it just helps me so much mentally to like focus on my breathing and focus on myself and just honestly just practice focusing and not letting my mind wander, but also getting like those really good deep stretches in. Being a mom, my goal was to do that 3 times a week. Now my goal is going to be doing that 5 times a week because I started hitting 3 and I feel so much better in the days that I do it. So I'm going to move up to 5. As a mom, I actually wrote 2 things here because they kind of go hand in hand, but not really, but they're equally important to me. The first one was doing daily devotions with my daughter. I find it very easy when we do school to do daily devotions, but on the days that we don't have school, I find that I lack in that department because I'm kind of out of a routine. Like that's part of school in my mind, even though it's not. So doing devotions on the days we don't do school is what I really focused on. And then reading daily to her. Every day, I used to try to read before bed. Drop me down to 3 if you sit down and you read with your kids before bed. Drop me down to 4 if you intend to, but it doesn't happen very often. Okay, so I was in the 4 category. I was wanting to read to my daughter. I know it's important to read to her, right? The problem is by the time it's bedtime, I'm exhausted. I don't want anything to do with her. Like, I'm just going to be honest. I love you. Go to sleep. I will see you in the morning. Like, I don't want to sit and cuddle with her before bed because I'm not energized. Like, that's not my personality. When I am energized is right after school. And regardless if we had a good or a bad day, so we sit down and we read and she does a craft. Or if she doesn't feel like doing a craft, we'll move to the couch and she'll sit in my lap and I'll read her a book. So again, really focusing on the days that we don't have school, sitting down and reading to her. Some of y'all were just like, man, you are such a bad mom. Like, I'm not tuning into your channel anymore. That's okay, guys. Like, I'm not a great mom. I admit that. I focus on systems and finding ways to make her feel loved that I can consistently do. Does Disney Plus count? I'm going to say no. That is such a stay-at-home mom question. That's funny, though. My daughter wishes Disney Plus counted because she would be on that stupid thing 24/7 if I let her. Health and fitness category. I'm focusing on nutrition because I've been back to keto. Keto is the best thing for my body, according to my doctor. And I've tried so many things. I know how I feel on different ones. I am pretty sold that keto is the best thing for me. 5 kids don't want me reading to them. They're in 8th grade or graduated. Well, that's a little different. My kid's 5, so I need to read to her. But the older the kids are, the more important doing daily devotions are. So that may be something that you could implement if you don't already. You may already do that. So focusing on consistently staying on keto, but not so rigid to where I feel like my life sucks. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you also want it to be sustainable long term. And drop me a 5 if you've ever been on a diet and you hated it. Like, you literally thought about food 24/7 because you could never eat anything you enjoyed. I've been on those. They suck. You're funny. You said pick a 3 or 4, so I chose 5. That's how rebellious, that you could tell you were rebellious when you were a kid. One of those kids that you tell them to sit down and they sit down and say, but I'm standing up in my head. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, drop me a 5 if you've ever been on a diet and you just hate it. So that is something that I did not want this journey to be for me. I've done that. It's no fun. It's not sustainable. So I did keto for about a year. During that year, the first 4 months was nothing but me failing. Things had carbs that I didn't even know had carbs. Things had little ingredients in it that kicked you out of ketosis. Everybody's body is different too. So certain safe ingredients are not safe for everybody. Certain iffy ingredients don't kick everyone out of ketosis. So you really have to trial and error and take a lot of patience learning how to be in ketosis with your body. And I learned that the hard way. And I was real hard on myself. So now I have keto junk food in the house. So when I feel like I really just need junk food, when I reach for something, it's not actually junk food. Like, I have keto chips up in my cupboard. I've got keto ice cream in my freezer. I have keto candy bars. Like, I have keto bread if I want a sandwich. So I have the things in place to where it's not that hard. I'm drinking it now. I've got keto lemonade, and what that does is every once in a while, I will have a little bit more of a splurge day than I should. And this keeps me from getting kicked out of ketosis, but only if you use it right. Like, it could actually be dangerous if you are constantly eating carbs and then drinking this to stay in ketosis, like you're playing tug of war with your body. So I also had to learn, like, what's the healthy way to do it? Because some people do keto and they are very unhealthy about it and they actually hurt themselves. So that's not what I wanted either. So when I was walking through some things with my doctor, I told him some of my concerns, and and he helped me figure out a keto plan that worked for my body. So anyways, really focusing on that is definitely a key thing. And then number 4 is writing out a mock schedule, because now you have all the things you want to focus on, but you've got to make time to do them. So if you want to focus, for example, if you don't exercise at all right now, again, guys, don't be ashamed. There's been plenty of times when you've asked me, I would have said, yeah, I don't exercise. If you exercise less than 2 times per week consistently, drop me down to 6 in the comments. Now, if you exercise more than 2 times a week, drop me down to 7. I want to see who exercises and who doesn't. If you're somebody who you're dropping down to 6 because you don't exercise, your goal should not be to exercise 7 times a day. Okay, first off, legit, you should not be exercising 7 times a day. Your goal should not be to exercise 7 times a week. Because what you're doing is you literally have gone from nothing to now you think you're going to go all in. And all in for you should be probably 3 to 4 times a week. Where that's a good goal. You're probably not going to hit it every week because you're not used to doing it. But it's a good goal to work for without, if you don't hit it, you're not going to be like completely ashamed, I guess. I did this the hard way because water was one of mine. I don't drink water. Like, I drink a lot of coffee. I drink I don't drink Coke or anything that's bad, but I also don't drink water, which is really good for you. I don't stay hydrated enough. So I went from drinking 8 ounces a day, like I'm not even kidding you, I just suck at drinking water, to thinking I was going to drink a gallon a day. You know how many days I hit that? And I was real discouraged with myself. So now, I don't have a water bottle in here. I have 16-ounce water bottles. So my goal is just to drink 3 of those every single day. It's not enough water, but it's going to get me used to drinking. So then I'm going to up it to 4 and 5 and 6. And eventually I will be drinking 8, 9, and 10 bottles a day. And it'll just come like that. But it was something that I didn't think through. I just thought I was going to full-fledged do it. And I got real discouraged about it. So you don't want to do things that are going to sabotage yourself when it comes to your mindset either. I'm not going to tell you all the details about mock scheduling for the simple fact I've already done a video. I think you've already watched it. Okay. But if you haven't and you want it, just get in my inbox, just text me mock or mock schedule, whatever, and I'll send you the link. It literally is a video. It explains how to do it, and it's very, very simple, but it makes all the difference. And then the last thing, so number 5, is just after you've done this, so you've got your word for the 90 days, you have written out your categories, you've kind of graded yourself / rated yourself, whatever you want to put it. You have written down 1 or 2 things in each category that you're going to focus on. Then you've plugged those things in to a mock schedule, which basically is going to be you're doing certain things on certain days. So again, just watch the video. So if you don't have it, definitely message me. And then the last thing is you're going to sit down and you're going to kind of brain dump. Look at the good, the bad, and the ugly in the last 90 days and what are you going to change? So I'm going to read these to you. Again, this is kind of a journaling prompt, so you're just going to write it down in your notebook. I am going to do this in my actual journal. But first thing you're going to do is you're going to write down what season of life are you in. So, for example, let's say you just had a baby last month. You are in a season of life where you are going to be taking a few things much easier than someone like me who I'm at, my daughter's in kindergarten and my husband and I run a ministry and we have a really big business right now that we are it went from, it just boomed really quick. So we are now juggling. That's a good word. We're trying to figure out how to juggle different things and we are go, go, go all the time and we love it because we thrive on that stuff. you're going to be at a season where you're going to be staying at home and you're going to be like enjoying a new baby. So there's going to be other areas of your life that you're not so focused on. Now, at the same time, flip side, maybe you are someone like me and you are at the prime of, the peak of just everything's falling into place and lots of really busy things are happening, but good things. So you're going to be focusing on more things like self-care that can be pushed to the back burner and your spiritual growth. Those are things that I make sure I focus on because they're so easy to get caught up in the busyness, and those are the things that go away. Number 2 is you're going to list out some of your wins from the last 90 days. One thing I like to do in my journal is every day I write down a small win. And I'm telling you, it could be like, did not eat carbs today. It could be, holidays are hard if you're on keto, guys. People like to say they're not. They are, because you're going to parties and stuff. There's usually not keto food. And that's the same with if you're eating clean. If you're just eating super clean, holidays are hard. So maybe you went to a cookie exchange at your church and you only ate one cookie because that's what you said you're going to let yourself eat. Now, I try to just say no cookies because if I eat one, I'm probably going to eat 12. So, anyone else do that? Drop me in the comments if you say you're going to eat one cookie and then the whole sleeve is gone and you're like, well, crap, that wasn't supposed to happen. So it can be small wins like that. It doesn't have to be big. Number 3 is you're going to write down any projects or tasks that you wrote down to complete in the last 90 days and you haven't done them. Number 4, you're going to write down areas that you need more discipline. For some of you, that could be the kind of food that you're putting in your mouth. That's definitely what I focus on right now. I just hit the minus 10 pound mark, and I'm telling you guys, it was a struggle. I have seen people do the keto diet and they're losing 10 pounds in their first week. And I'm not talking water weight. I lost more than 10 if you count water weight, but I don't count water weight. Actual weight, I lost 10 pounds. It took me a month, a little over a month actually. It took me 5.5 weeks of consistency because PCOS, I don't lose weight fast. But I was happy and excited because I have been sticking with it day in and day out, and partly to some of the systems I've put in place. But it's still something I definitely need more discipline on because I know in the last 5.5 weeks I could have been cleaner keto. 5 is write down 1 or 2 things that drain you or stress you out and then take steps to take those out of your life. I'm in the process of a big one right now and it's not fun, but it's definitely something that I've been needing to purge and I'm slowly doing it. Number 6, write down things that energize you or fill your cup. What is 4? 4 is an area that you need more discipline. And again, I will make sure I post this for you guys too. So for me, one area that fills my cup is work because of the way that I work. Most of you know, I work from home, I advertise on social media, but bigger than that, I teach other women how to do the same thing. So I'm literally empowering women to be able to be full-time moms and make full-time incomes without ever leaving their house. To me, when I get on the phone with some of these women or I do trainings, I just get so energized. So that's something I love doing. Number 7 is write down a bad habit that you need to break. Snooze button all the way. That's my habit. Number 8, write down something that is frustrating you right now. So it could be an area, it could be a person, it could anything in your life that you feel like is frustrating you. Number 9 is write down something that's giving you the most joy. For me right now, the season that we're in, I would probably say homeschooling is doing that. I love seeing light bulbs come off on my daughter. And right now we're really hitting hard on salvation because she's at that age, she's asking questions. So I've implemented a salvation series into our lessons and she is loving them. I'm going to do a video for you guys and show you 5 really cute, simple crafts that you can do to retell the salvation story without being boring to your kid, that are actually helping her a lot. Number 10 is write down any of your fears or anxieties going into the next 90 days. Number 11 is write down a project and tasks that you need to get done in the next 90 days. Number 12, write down any skills that you want to practice that maybe you have not been practicing very much. And then number 13 is if money and time were not factors, what would your life look like in 10 years? So I want you to write down, I do this every, again, 3 to 4 months. It energizes me to none other. You're going to write down, what's your house going to look like? What does your family look like? What do you look like? Maybe you're someone like me and you are really, really focusing on your health. You're going to look different in 10 years. Trust me, you're not going to look the same. What's your dream vacation going to look like? What car are you going to drive? For me, I couldn't tell you the exact name of it because I'm not a car person, but it is a black truck, huge truck. The brand will be Lincoln because we are now a Lincoln family. My husband has converted me. I made so much fun of him when he bought his Lincoln because it was way overpriced, like stupid luxury car, right? But you know what? I fell in love with it. The brand is, I just feel like it's very quality. The car has held up so well for us. Things that have gone wrong on it are like maintenance issues, most of them, like brakes and tires and things that go wrong on every vehicle. And we have just had really good luck with the car. So I have fallen in love with it over the last 6 years. And that'll be when I buy my first truck, it will be a Lincoln. And it might be a little overpriced, and that's okay, but that is the truck that I want. So that is 1 through 5. Again, you're welcome to rewatch anything that you want to rewatch. And if you want that mock schedule, go ahead and just text me as soon as the video is over, mock schedule, and I will send that out to you. It's totally free. It just walks you through how to make a mock schedule and actually get your goals from goals to action steps to completing those goals. Thanks everyone for tuning into this, and have a good night.